Okay, for this next tip, we're going to look at getting a little more out of Anna as an FM synthesizer. When Yamaha made the DX7, and that became the template for all the FM synthesis that followed, they tended to bundle their oscillators, here the 1, 2, 3 we have in Anna, with an envelope, and then call that an operator. And the reason being that bringing levels up and down between the oscillators when they are frequency modulating each other is key to the sort of flexibility necessary to make a good FM synthesizer. Now, Anna's got the FM synthesis links, it's got the oscillators, and it also has, over here, some assignable envelopes. And so what I like to do when I'm doing FM stuff in Anna is, with oscillator 1, use mod envelope 1 to control the FM depth. And in that way, you're establishing something quite like the operator relationships that exist in the DX7. And so what I'll quickly do is show you what happens when we do a little bit of FM synthesis without controlling these depths, and what happens with, and you'll see that some sounds that you might associate with the DX7 come out much more readily, and also it's a bit more musical, I find, than just having flat oscillators banging into each other on the FM modulation. So let's have a listen. So let's turn number 2 oscillator on. So 1 and 2 are on currently. I'm going to put them onto sine wave because that's the old school DX7 vibe. Okay, and I'm going to pitch oscillator 2 down an octave, down an octave. Turn the voice off, just so we can hear them both there. Okay, so in oscillator 1, if I want to modulate oscillator 1 with oscillator 2 via the FM, I just welly this up. And straight away you've got an interesting raspy digital FM kind of sound there. Nice mid-rangey, grunty stuff. Now that's wonderful, and you can use that as a waveform and get stuck in. But just to kind of get your head into DX7 mode, this wouldn't always just be set and left. It would very typically be being moved and modulated by its envelope. So what we're going to do is assign FM1 to mod env 1. There we go. And this now means, instead of having that constant sort of rasping sound, what I can actually do is shape that. So now we've got kind of a fast decay. So we should get that kind of harsh mid-range at the beginning as a kind of pluck sound, and then it should fade back down to a much sort of softer tonality. And that will, of course, be controlled by this depth. So with nothing, we're back to just kind of organ sine waves. So bring this up. And there you go. So you've got that kind of FM acid sound that's very common in the early house music records from Chicago. And you just control that with the depth here. Similarly, you can set different shape envelopes like this. It will fade that effect up. Let's get some release on this sound. Okay, so I'm just messing around there. You can hear that straight away by having the mod envelope controlling this FM depth, you're getting something much more akin to DX7 sounds happening really quickly. And you can still, of course, keep messing around with the pitches over here. So I'm going to stop there. Hopefully you can see from that very quick demo that simply setting up a mod envelope, assigning it to the FM for the corresponding oscillator. So all we've done there is on oscillator 1, which is being modulated by 2, the FM depth there, we've simply got that assigned mod envelope 1 to oscillator 1 FM amount. And then this envelope can then be used to shape the tone of that sound, just as you could on a DX7. And you can also, of course, do the same with FM2 here, mod envelope 2, with 3 shaping 2. And you can get really complex FM tones going. But the essence of this is associate an oscillator with an envelope via that FM depth. And a final thought, if you're really enjoying getting the DX7 vibe going, what you can do to make it super authentic is whiz down to the effects section, switch on an insert. I'm going to use 1, go into distortion, go into bit crusher. And if you want to have a proper sort of emulation of an old retro DX7 sound, the original DX7 one had, it's complicated, but basically between 12 and a 14-bit digital audio converters. So if you use the bit crusher and drop it down, then those sounds become a little, I'll make it at 12, which is very grainy, you should hear the difference. Now the DX7 had sort of like a bit of a fudge, so it was between 12 and 14 bits, but yeah, if you what you like for sound, but you can very authentically drop a couple of bits on the bit crusher just for that ever so slightly kind of gritty sound. And there you go. Some little tips to turn your Anna into a more authentic DX7 FM synthesizer.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.